The history of religions presents a profound story of humanity's quest for meaning, its evolution over time, and how it has been corrupted by the thirst for power. In the previous documentary, we explored how Judaism was stripped of its essence and transformed into a tool of power filled with superstitions. Now, we face another belief system, Christianity, which has been similarly manipulated and built on entirely fictional foundations. Today, Christianity, which influences billions of people, is in fact one of the greatest, most effective, and longest-lasting illusions devised and implemented by the Roman Empire. In this captivating theater, the true protagonist is not the crucified Jesus, who met a tragic end, but rather the Roman Empire itself, which ruthlessly eradicated him and then established its own magnificent throne, transforming Jesus into a symbol and a myth. Prepare yourselves, for we are about to delve into one of the greatest fabrications in human history, the hidden truths behind Christianity. We will attempt to decipher the symbolic language of the heavens, uncover how ancient pagan beliefs were skillfully integrated into this new religion, and navigate the dark labyrinths of the Roman Empire's power games in our quest to discover the real Jesus. In this journey, we will reveal the truths hidden in the dusty pages of history and unveil the secrets behind Christianity. Christianity is filled with stories that inspire hope, touch the soul, and resonate with hearts. However, behind these touching and seemingly sacred narratives lie much deeper and more complex truths. One of the most striking examples of this is the Christmas story, a cornerstone of Christianity. The tale of the three wise men following a star to find the baby Jesus is one of the most symbolic narratives in Christian belief. Yet, this story is more than a symbolic account of an astronomical event based on the movements of celestial bodies. It represents the winter solstice. To understand the truth behind the central Christian iconography of the three wise men and the nativity of Jesus, we need to look to the skies. The bright star from the east depicted in Christian mythology, which guides the wise men, is actually nothing more than Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. December 25th, celebrated as Christmas, is also the winter solstice, a festival observed by pagan cultures for thousands of years. The three wise men symbolize the three stars in the Orion's belt, which perfectly align with the sunrise point of the winter solstice. This well-known astronomical event from ancient times has been skillfully integrated into the symbolic framework of Christianity. The resurrection of Jesus on the third day after his death forms the basis of the belief in life after death and offers great hope to humanity. However, the origins of this belief also lie within pagan traditions and their symbolism. Pagans celebrated the winter solstice on December 21st, marking the time when the sun was at its lowest point for 3 days and then triumphantly rose again, symbolizing rebirth. This death and rebirth symbolism is mirrored in Christianity as the resurrection of Jesus, merging the story of Jesus' resurrection with the rebirth of the pagan sun god. This integration has created a powerful motif that promises eternal life to Christian believers. The deep impressions these stories leave in the minds of believers are actually intricately woven narratives rooted in thousands of years of astronomical events and pagan symbolism. Christianity has successfully incorporated these myths into its framework, providing believers with a compelling and attractive story. To truly grasp the depth of the symbolism underlying this narrative, one must look to the skies in ancient times. In Western art, the classical depiction of Jesus often presents him as a divine figure with white skin, blue eyes, and a halo of holy light around his head. This image has been entrenched in Christian art and iconography for centuries, yet it bears little resemblance to historical realities. Historical sources and archaeological findings reveal an entirely different portrait of Jesus. The real Jesus was a Jewish prophet who lived a humble life, championed humanistic values like equality and justice, and opposed the corrupt religious authorities and oppressive Roman rule of his time. While we have limited information about his birthplace and the conditions in which he lived, it is certain that Jesus was born into a world full of chaos and oppression amidst Jewish pagan conflicts. Jesus' prophetic journey did not begin with sudden divine revelation or miraculous origins. Instead, he spent years wandering alone in the desert, engaging in deep contemplation, disciplining his ego, and pursuing spiritual enlightenment. During this period, he resolved to dedicate himself to the pursuit of true knowledge and wisdom. One of the key factors in his transformation was his training with the Essenes, one of the most enigmatic and wise communities of the time. The Essenes imparted important teachings to Jesus, including the art of healing, energy control, and access to ancient esoteric knowledge. His time with the Essenes expanded Jesus' worldview and provided him with the opportunity to perceive the hypocrisy and corruption of the religious authorities of his time. These experiences led him to confront both the Jewish priests' meaningless rules and rituals and the oppressive Roman administration. Jesus' messages urged people to think critically, question authority, and seek the truth within themselves. His teachings constituted a powerful call against authorities, advocating for free thought and spiritual awakening. However, Jesus' teachings posed a significant threat to both religious authorities and the Roman Empire. Over time, his true identity and message were systematically suppressed, and in their place, a mythological figure was created to serve Rome's political interests. Thus, the true identity of Jesus was obscured, and his message became a tool wielded by those in power. The genuine life and teachings of Jesus were manipulated into the foundational elements of a religion. Instead of revealing the real Jesus, the pages of history accommodated a constructed mythology. This false mythology remained a tool of power used in the name of Christianity for centuries, while the human and spiritual messages of the real Jesus were lost in the shadow of this myth. The teachings of Jesus posed a significant threat to the political and religious order of the time. Both the Roman authorities and the Jewish leaders were deeply unsettled by his growing influence and the awakening words he spoke to the people. Jesus' messages, centered on love, equality, and justice, were undermining the foundations of the existing power structure and encouraging the populace to question and seek change. This situation represented a serious danger to both the oppressive Roman regime and the authority of the Jewish religious leaders. To eliminate this common threat, Roman and Jewish leaders did not hesitate to devise a secret conspiracy. They spread lies, cast accusations, and incited the public against Jesus to discredit and silence him. These efforts ultimately led to Jesus' arrest and an unjust trial. After a rigged trial, Jesus was found guilty and crucified. The Roman and Jewish leaders celebrated their perceived victory, believing their enemies had been silenced and the threat neutralized. However, this was not the end as they had imagined. Jesus' tragic death did not extinguish his teachings. Rather, it led to their spread to even wider audiences and their growing power. His messages of equality, justice, and love resonated deeply with the oppressed and those seeking justice. Despite the Roman oppression, Jesus' voice began to echo even more powerfully and effectively after his death, shaking the foundations of society. Faced with this development, the Roman Empire found itself in a significant dilemma. The new religion, which they had tried to suppress with punishment and violence for years, continued to spread despite all obstacles. The increasing influence of Jesus' teachings was becoming a threat to Rome's existence. At this juncture, Rome developed a pragmatic and cunning strategy. Realizing they could not destroy Christianity, they saw an opportunity to control it and use it for their own interests. Understanding that the most effective way to deal with an enemy was to adopt it, Rome underwent a major strategic shift. Emperor Constantine declared Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire, marking a tremendous political victory for Rome. Through this move, Rome could harness the power of Christianity to strengthen its own dominance and maintain control over the people. By adopting the enemy, Rome skillfully turned Christianity into a new tool for consolidating its power. The Papacy was established, and a single, absolute authority over the Christian world was created. This authority would shape Christianity according to its own desires and direct the beliefs, behaviors, and thoughts of its followers. By making Christianity the state religion, Rome used it as a tool to reinforce its political and social order. Within this new framework, the teachings of Christianity were reinterpreted and reshaped to align with Rome's political interests. The Papacy, positioned at the center of this new order, reinforced Rome's power both as a religious and political authority. One of the major missions of the new era was to strengthen Christianity and consolidate it into a single, unified belief system. To achieve this goal, the Council of Nicaea undertook the task of creating a sacred text for Christianity. But is the Bible truly a divine revelation that descended from the heavens as many Christians believe? Or is it a political document written, edited, and manipulated by human hands? The reality is quite different from the accepted narratives within the Christian world. The Bible is a complex work compiled from various pagan, Jewish, and Hellenistic sources, rewritten and shaped according to the political goals of the Roman Empire. The Council of Nicaea decided the contents of the Bible, determining which texts would be considered sacred and which would be declared apocryphal and consigned to the shadows of history. In this process, the Bible not only established the core dogmas of Christianity, but also served as a tool to reconstruct the figure of Jesus Christ. Inspired by mythological figures such as the Egyptian god Horus, the Persian god Mithras, the Hindu god Krishna, and the Greek god Dionysus, a unique divine Jesus myth was created for Christianity. This myth facilitated the manipulation and control of the masses. By presenting Jesus as a divine being, this powerful figure embedded in the public subconscious helped solidify Rome's political and religious authority. The Roman Empire, in an effort to establish its newly created religion and reduce resistance, incorporated traditions, symbols, and festivals from millennia-old pagan beliefs into Christianity. Symbols and rituals from pagan cultures were assimilated into Christianity, creating a bridge between the old and the new. This strategy made the transition to Christianity easier and less painful for converts, allowing them to find familiar elements of their old beliefs within their new religion. Through this assimilation strategy, the pagan festival of Samhain, which celebrated harvest and fertility, was transformed into Halloween in Christianity. Similarly, the pagan festival celebrating the spring equinox was renamed Easter and integrated into the Christian world. By incorporating these symbols, Christianity allowed people to adopt the new faith without severing their connection to the past. However, this process of assimilation was accompanied by a brutal campaign of destruction and genocide against pagan cultures. The Roman Empire began demolishing pagan temples, occupying sacred spaces, and suppressing pagan communities. Christianity, now the official religion of Rome, allowed no tolerance for any faith outside this new order. The eradication of pagan beliefs was a part of Rome's strategy to spread Christianity across its empire and consolidate religious authority under a single institution. Thus, the Roman Empire not only reinforced its military and political power, but also solidified its religious dominance. In conclusion, the Bible and Christianity were shaped and utilized not just as a religious belief system, but also as a political project of the Roman Empire. The destruction and assimilation of pagan cultures into Christianity were integral to strengthening Rome's religious and political authority. Christianity was reborn under Roman rule as both a religious and political tool. The Roman Empire did not hesitate to systematically rewrite history to present the Christian myth in a convincing and widely acceptable manner. In this process, the true information about Jesus Christ's life and teachings was deliberately obscured and eradicated. Rome not only destroyed original texts and records, but also hid some and deliberately altered others. This strategy aimed to distance the true identity and message of Jesus from the public and reinforce Roman dominance. Those who sought to spread the true message and teachings of Jesus were seen as threats to Roman authority. They were branded as traitors and ruthlessly executed. During this process, the truth was buried, and the public's memory was reshaped to fit Rome's ideological interests. Within the fabricated historical narrative of Rome, Jesus was depicted as the Son of God and a miracle-performing figure. This portrayal served as a symbol of sanctity and superiority in the minds of the people. However, the true identity of Jesus as a human who advocated universal values such as equality and justice was deliberately forgotten. In this way, Rome succeeded in both propagating its own ideology and consolidating its dominance. This process serves as a significant example of how memory and truth can be manipulated throughout history. One of the most critical decisions of the Council of Nicaea was the acceptance of Jesus Christ as the Son of God and the systematic establishment of this belief. This decision foresaw that Jesus would be recognized not merely as an ordinary prophet, but as the earthly representative of God and even as God himself. This strategic shift aimed to make Christianity an unrivaled belief system and prevent the emergence of other prophets. The deification of Jesus aimed to firmly establish Christian doctrine and render his authority unquestionable. If Jesus was God himself, it would be impossible for any prophet to rival or challenge his authority. This move was both a reinforcement of Roman and Christian dominance. With this decision, Christianity became a dogmatic and unchangeable belief system. The deification of Jesus ensured that the faith represented a singular and absolute truth. Criticism and questioning of this new belief system were closed off. This change functioned as a tool to strengthen Rome's power and authority. Christianity thus became not only a religious faith, but also an ideological weapon of the Roman Empire. This situation profoundly altered both religious and political power dynamics, solidifying Roman dominance. The Roman Empire established the papal system to shape and control Christianity according to its own interests. Over time, however, the papacy evolved from a mere puppet leadership designed by Rome into a massive center of power. The Vatican-based papal system amassed vast wealth and influence by ruthlessly exploiting the ignorance and faith of the people. The papacy constructed grand palaces, built private armies, initiated wars, and established extensive authority over Europe. During this period, Christianity became a tool for secular power and wealth. The papacy aggressively opposed scientific progress and sought to perpetuate ignorance and darkness. It mercilessly persecuted those who opposed its doctrines and ushered in a dark age of religious oppression. The Middle Ages were marked by the papacy's tyranny and darkness, characterized by witch hunts, inquisition trials, and religious wars that revealed the papacy's harsh face and its repressive control over society. Yet, a surprising fact emerges from this period: a hidden connection between the papacy and ancient pagan sun cults. Pagan symbols subtly concealed within churches, the architectural similarity of Vatican structures to sun temples, and Sunday observances such as the Day of the Sun reveal traces of pagan beliefs embedded within Christianity. The papacy may have reinterpreted and utilized ancient pagan rituals and symbols under the guise of Christianity. This integration of cultural elements from the past into the papacy's religious and political power highlights the hypocrisy and manipulation inherent in the institution. Following the fall of the Roman Empire, the authority of the papacy began to wane, leading the Christian world into a period of internal fragmentation. Three main denominations emerged: Catholicism, Orthodoxy, and Protestantism. The root of this division was not so much religious differences, but rather political and material conflicts of interest. Each denomination embarked on a fierce struggle to consolidate its own authority and power, resulting in bloody wars and conflicts over the centuries. Christians fought over various interpretations of their faith, with millions of lives lost in these clashes. Religion had ceased to be a unifying and peace-bringing force, instead becoming an instrument of division, conflict, and hatred. The struggles between denominations were more than just a reflection of religious discord. They were a manifestation of the quest for dominance and control. The 1st century marks the end of the Dark Ages and the beginning of a new era of enlightenment. With the widespread access to technology and information, the development of a global consciousness has brought the lies hidden in history's dark corners to light. The true face of Christianity, its concealed history, and fabricated myths are being revealed. The increasing adoption of belief systems like atheism and deism in Christian countries signifies a decline in Christianity. People are beginning to think and question. They are rejecting rote learning and abandoning blind obedience. The Roman Empire succeeded in silencing Jesus Christ by killing him. Ironically, however, the false religion and myth of Jesus they created became the greatest factor in sending them to the dustbin of history. Truths are always destined to come to light, and history has repeatedly shown that no lie can last forever. If this is the first time you're hearing about the true history and face of Christianity and are feeling astonished, know that you are not alone. Truths can sometimes be painful and unsettling, but we should not fear them. Instead, we must confront them and learn from the past. Only through genuine knowledge and honest questioning can humanity achieve a brighter future. So, what do you think about it? Whether you agree or not, please share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas on the subject. I'm Ethan Godfrey. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Next week, we will continue our journey into the history of religions. Stay tuned and see you soon.